Hi, Kate from Kate's Paper Creations here today to share some cards that I have made using the Ornate Garden Suite, which is a new suite that Stampin' Up! Has made available. It will be in the annual catalog, but it's an early release. So I've been busy making cards from it because it's available to purchase from now through the end of May. And I couldn't think of a better way to spend a little bit of my stimulus money than to buy the entire kit and share it with you. And you've probably already seen the video of the contents that are in there, so I'm not going to go over that again because that's already out and up. But we're going to make a card today, and this is the card we're going to make. And I had a bunch of these small envelopes for note cards, and they hold a 3.5 by 5 note card. And I wanted to use up the envelopes and get them out of my stash drawer. So I decided to create some 3.5 by 5 cards, which this one is. So to start with this, you're going to use the Whisper White Thick, and you're going to cut it 5 by 7, and then score it at 3.5 and fold it, and that will make a 3.5 by 5 card, base card. So that's what you're going to do first, which I've already done, and we'll burnish the edge so it lays nice and flat. And then I used the paper, which is called Ornate Garden, and we call it DSP, Designer Series Paper. And I cut this piece 2.5 wide by 5 long, and it's going to end up on the front of the card eventually. Okay, so we'll set that aside for just a moment. Then I used gold foil, and I cut 2 strips. This is 3/4 inch by 5, and I cut 2 of them, and I'm going to use this die from the Ornate Borders dies that are part of the suite. And it has a very, very fine scalloped edge here with some holes in it. And I want to do it so it's on the very edge of this piece. So what I did is I lined it up, and then I have a piece of washi tape here stuck to my finger, as you can see. And I'm going to tape it down so that it won't move when I run it through the Big Shot. And so that'll cut out just the edge off of this paper. And I did that twice. So I have these 2 pieces. Then I took my DSP piece and I turned it over, and keep bumping my paper, and run a piece of Tombow or snail down each side, and then I stuck this to it. And get a bit hold of it so I can do it. And just lined it up as carefully as I could, like that. And I don't press it down until I have it just right, because I want everything to show like it should. On that side, whoops, stuck down my paper. Oh, that wasn't smart. Okay, and then this one is the same thing, just lining it up. This is working pretty good, doing it from top to bottom like this. Just kind of holding it in place. And there's that. So it looks like that. And then I'm going to put a snail on the back of that. And I added some extra in the middle, like that. And then that's going to go, on the card front, centered from side to side and matching edge to edge, top to bottom. Just like that. And there's that part of the card, ready to go. Okay, next, to get these pieces, I used another piece of gold foil, and this one was 1.25 inches wide by 6.5 inches long, maybe a little bit bigger than you need for length, but anyway, put this on there and ran it through to get this. You can see I've already done one before to get this. And now I didn't punch all this out because I wanted you to see what I was doing. Here are the stems that come out of that, like that. Those are the stems that you see on this card. Then, where's my pokey tool? Oops, sorry, bumped my camera. Sometimes I do that. I'm going to poke out all the pieces that are supposed to come out of these flowers. Me and pokey tools. That's somebody at one of my workshops called these a pokey tool. It's paper piercer. I don't know what all different names and what its real official name is. I don't even know anymore because I've called it a pokey tool for so long. Because one of my customers called it that, and that's what it's been ever since. So then once I got those ready, I finished cutting these flowers out. And I didn't do it ahead of time because I wanted you to kind of see how I did it. So you've got it, and I just kept following the line around so that I would have individual flowers. So we're getting there. There's one. And then we're going to cut this one out and finish cutting it out. It's really not that hard to do. There's one. And then we've got this one. It has a little bit more cutting to do because it's more attached than the others, but it's still just leaving that little edge all the way around so your flower stays intact. Get some stuff out of the way. And keep going. You know, what is it about us and Stampin' Up stuff and our dies? We never seem to have all the dies we want or the dies that do everything we want. We just always end up wanting to do a little bit of fussy cutting. It's just the way it goes. There's a little nib there I want to get rid of. And there's that flower, and then I've got one more right down here to cut out. I hope you're being able to see this. Gets a little quiet when I'm concentrating. Okay, and there's that flower. So then we can get this off of our table. So we have our 4 flowers and the stems. So then I'm going to attach these to the front of the card. And I used my favorite Zig's 2-way squeeze glue pen. This is my favorite pen for doing small things. And I like to, because sometimes the glue gets on other things, I'll bring this in. And that way my background paper here, my mat, won't get all sticky, because sometimes I don't stay on the stems. I just get close, and I want to do that. So then here's the first one, and I'm thinking this one needs to go like this. And if I need it to stick and my fingers are sticky, I just use the back end of the glue pen to hold it down until it starts to stick. It will stick eventually. Let's see, let's do this one next. And like I say, just little dots. That's what I like about this glue pen. I have such good control over how much is coming out and everything. So And one more stem. I think in my video where I showed you all the parts and pieces that come with the suite, I showed you how these could be pulled out and used. And so I had to make a card doing it. Just had to. Okay. Now I'm going to attach the flowers. And what I did is I attached the flowers to wherever there was a stem that was missing a flower, pretty much. So we'll get that back in the picture here, and we'll put a dot of glue around on the tips and that of this one. And I'm going to put this one right here. And it's okay if it goes over the outside. That's okay. And then another one. That one's going to go here. My fingers get sticky. Like I say, they get sticky, so then I have to do something to get them to stay until they start to stick to the paper. Okay, and another one. This one's a small one. And let's see, I put that one right here. So I'm just matching the flower up to where the stem is. And one more here. And we're going to put this one right here. And get those to stick. And like I say, my fingers get sticky. Get those to stick. So there's that. Then the next thing I did was add these 3 little flowers, and that's a stamp that's in the set called Ornate Ornate Style. And they have leaves on them, but we're going to cut the leaves off when I cut them out. So I just stamped them 3 times with Memento ink, and I fussy cut them out. So I have 3 of them right here. And I put them on the card front with dimensionals. 1 dimensional to the back of each one. And I used the large ones. And they will fit just fine on there. And then I just clustered them on the front of the card, overlapping them just a tiny bit and covering up where all those stems meet. And they were just a little bit too plain, so I added some Wink of Stella. Gives them just a little bit of a shimmer. And actually, what's really kind of fun, and let's see if I can find some, I'm going to add just a hint of color. And the way I do that is I get a clear block and I get a little bit of color on it. And then you can dip your Wink of Stella brush in that, and then it'll add just a really faint color along with the shimmer. So it makes them stand out just a little bit more. I don't know if you can really see the shimmer, but it's there. It looks really cool. So that's that. And then I added, for the finishing touch, some pearls from the Artisan Pearls collection. And I just used these ones that have a kind of a yellowish color or a vanilla color. I put one in the center of each of those little flowers, which just gives it a wonderful, get it centered, there we go, finishing touch. Oopsie. Didn't stick to me. My pearls, I think I put them on too soon after the Wink of Stella. The Wink of Stella hadn't quite dried, so that's why they were giving me grief, but they're good now. Okay, and so there's the pearls, and there's card number 2. Aren't they pretty? Oh, I just love them. And they're just that nice little compact note size. Now I have to share just a little thing. You know, we had the pick tools, and the pick tools were double-ended, and then they had pieces that you had to keep track of to change them out and stuff, and I didn't like that. So I had my husband make me handles for all the different tips of my pick tools, and so there he did, made me handles for them so that I don't have to turn them around, change them out. I can just grab them out of my tool cart, and there they are. So just a little fun thing to share. And that is it. Thanks for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed the video.